So the river raids are almost upon us, as the second seasonal free content update will launch in February, providing us with 3 replayable maps full of new gear, silver, runes and abilities to collect. So in light of this new content, I made 3 variations of a single build, which will be perfect for the future content coming to the game. But before we are getting into the details, what is up guys, it's the boy Gerald and welcome at another Assassin's Creed Valhalla video. If you haven't already dropped a like, it would be really appreciated, and if you're new to the channel and want to stay updated on the latest Assassin's Creed Valhalla content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. So with that being said, let's get into the best builds for the River Raids DLC. So yeah, today we are back again with another Assassin's Creed Valhalla build guide. And to make it a bit easier for you guys and to provide you guys with some options, I made 3 variations of a single build, which can be really great for all the upcoming content coming to the game. So the build that I created for you guys is primarily focused on armor and damage, in order for you to have some durability on the battlefield while also providing some insane damage and speed to make your life a bit easier during the many raids that are ahead of us. And even on the hardest difficulty of the game, this build just shreds through any and everyone, clearing outposts and entire encampments including raiding locations in no time. And honestly, I had quite a blast with all 3 variations of the build when I was putting them together and as I spent some time with them in combat. So the first build we are going to have a look at is this amazing double spear build. And when I was trying this out, I was really amazed by the speed and the insane damage of this combination, especially together with the armor set needed for this particular build, and the fire weapon ability make this a real powerhouse, perfect for these upcoming river raids. So what do you need to make this build for yourself? So first things first, to increase the durability of this build, you really want to get the Brigandine armor set for its stats, which make the build a bit tanky. So as you can see, when surrounded by 2 or more enemies, the armor will be increased. So when surrounded by 3, there will be an increase of plus 10, with 4 an increase of plus 20, and with 5 or more an increase of plus 30, which is quite a lot. Furthermore, we've got the full set equipped, which provides an additional increase to melee damage when surrounded by 2 or more enemies, with an increase of plus 2.4, plus 7.3 and plus 25 points. And to increase the durability just a bit more, I included the Dead Speaker Bull, which you can get from the merchant in Repton. And the perk of this bull provides 25% of health when hitting weak points. So when you get hit and don't want to use rations, you can just get some distance between you and the enemies and try to hit these weak points for some healing. And that brings us to the 2 showpieces of this build variation, being the double spears. So in the main hand, the Fafnir's Fang Spear is equipped, and I chose this one for its perk, being that it increases critical chance when surrounded by 3 enemies and bonuses when surrounded by more than 3. Plus the bonuses stay active for 10 seconds when not surrounded by more than 3 enemies anymore. And the Fafnir's Fang can be obtained by defeating Ragnar's Dranger just above your beginning settlement in Norway. And in the offhand, we've got the Veered Spear for its perk that it increases speed by plus 10 for 2.5 seconds after performing a dodge, making this build just a bit quicker. And when combined, this build is really strong, tanky and fast. Just running up to groups of enemies, activate the fire ability while simultaneously increasing armor and critical chance when surrounded by enemies, and perform a dodge just before combat, making it a really good build. Another variation that I have made for you guys is the spear and dagger combination. So with this variation we switch it up a bit more and focus a bit more on critical hits. So in order to make this build, you need to equip 2 or 3 pieces of the Brigandine set and 2 or 3 pieces of the Mentor set. As long as you have 2 pieces equipped of both at all times, you're good. So by adding these 2 gear pieces together, you will increase the armor when surrounded by 2 or more enemies, as it is the perk of the Brigandine set and the perk of the Mentor set that it increases attack after critical hits, which can stack up to 5 times for a duration of 35 seconds and can increase to plus 20 points of attack. And to synergize with the perk of increased attack after critical hits, we keep the Fafnir's Fang Spear equipped for its increase in critical chance when surrounded by 3 or more enemies. And add the Satunger's Claw dagger in the offhand for successive strikes and for the perk that it increases critical damage for a duration of 2 seconds, which can stack up to 10 times for a max of plus 18.2 points. And as you can see, I also added a diamond rune to increase critical chance after each hit to push up the crit chance even more. Furthermore, for the bow you got 2 choices, being the Dead Speaker for health after hitting weak points, or the Viper bow for its perk that it increases critical chance even further after each hit. And the best thing about the bows is that you don't have to use them in order to get the perks activated. And the great thing about this build is that it can do some insane damage due to the increase in attack and the increase in critical hit damage and chance. But also the increase in armor comes in really handy. The spear dagger combo is really convenient since the spear gives you just a bit more reach to attack enemies from just a bit of a distance, giving you some time to respond to their attacks, while the dagger can be used when you get really up and close to them for some quick strikes. And then at last, a combination that you might have already seen on my channel, the insane double dagger variation. And this has to be one of the strongest combinations in the game, especially when also adding the fire weapon ability. This one just shreds through everyone in no time while also providing great mobility, since you can attack very quickly with the daggers when up and close to an enemy. So in order to make this variation for yourselves, you will need the Mentor set again and the Brigandine set. And as with the previous spear and dagger variation, just make sure to equip 2 pieces of both sets at all time to get the perks. Then switch the Satunger's Claw to the main hand, throw the Viper bow in the mix for its increase in crit chance, and add the Copus dagger to the offhand. And this Copus dagger perk will make sure that you will never need rations again, giving you some great durability on the battlefield, since for every critical hit it will heal you for just a small amount, which will stack up pretty quickly due to the combination of the Satunger's Claw and the Viper bow. And you can even throw some good runes in the mix to increase critical chance. But that is all up to you guys, as the main parts and the most important parts of these build variations are the weapons and the gear, which allows some personalization options for you guys to use these builds but still make it more of your own, by adding some great runes that you like. And well, as you could see in the gameplay, this build is insane. It is not just fast, but it also does some real good damage. And the health regeneration after each crit make it a pretty good build for the upcoming river raids, where you will encounter vast groups of enemies in the raiding locations. And again, add the flaming weapon ability to it and this build becomes unstoppable, just running through every enemy type, bosses and beasts. So I would definitely advise you guys to try these build variations out before the river raids DLC, to see which one you like best and maybe tweak it a bit to make it really your own, so that your build will be up and ready when the DLC drops, in order for you to drop in the new DLC without any problems due to the great combination of the build. Furthermore, I really enjoyed making these builds for you guys. I hope you did like the builds and the content as well. When you did, make sure to leave a like and definitely let me know in the comments down below if you're going to try these builds out for yourselves. Also, if you want to stay up to date on the latest Assassin's Creed Valhalla content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out my other builds and guides as well. So with that being said, as always, thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one.